Hello tubers, this is Kurt with Edibles and Exotics coming to you from cloudy Mesa, Arizona. And today it is the first day of fall 2023, and I was going to do a yard update video to show you guys what it looks like going into the fall, but I have a lot of trimming and cleaning up to do. I don't want to show you my messy yard, so today I'm going to do a video on trimming my chaya tree and my Concord grapevine. So if you look behind me, this chaya tree here, it's pretty big, and what happened was in the last windstorm we had during our monsoon season, these branches on this side here kind of blew over and started growing and knocked down my grapevine. So what I need to do with this is come in and I'm going to trim off all these branches here that are growing into this grapevine over here. That way I have room to work. And then I'm going to build a trellis out of rebar and weld it up and get this grapevine properly staked and growing. So this was a 6-inch cutting, I think the beginning or the end of last summer. And over this summer, it's grown into a giant tangled mess. So there are grapes on it. We have picked a few. I don't think these are going to ripen. Oop, see, they're falling right off. So I think this guy, we're going to call it quits for this season. We're going to trim it up. I'm going to show you how I root them out. I've never rooted grapevines before, but apparently they root out very easily in water. I also trimmed my summer royal grape in the front yard here. And as you can see, I trimmed all the leaves off and I did some cuttings and I put them in jars in the kitchen window in water. So this guy was spreading out along the ground here. It was all the way over to here. So that's a good 4 feet away. And as you can see, it's just staked with bamboo stakes and it's not growing properly. So again, this guy we're going to trim up and we're going to get him a proper framework made out of rebar, welded together, and that's going to hold him up. And hopefully next year we'll get some grapes off of this guy. But again, this one was just a little cutting and it's growing pretty good. Pretty neat looking trunk. It's got 3 branches coming out. We want this main one coming up to grow properly, so we're probably going to trim off these side ones on either side, and we'll probably do another couple of jars of cuttings. All right, so here's the summer royal grape cuttings. I have 3 jars of probably 20 to 30 in each jar. They're filled not too far with water, and one thing you got to make sure of is these little nodes where the leaves or the branches or the little tendrils come out. You want to make sure you have at least one of those underwater. All right, guys, first step is first. So I'm going to trim off all these branches that are growing over the grapevine. I did a video on how to grow cuttings from chayas. So I'll put a link down in the description for that. I'm not going to redo that video. This is about the grapes. So like I said, I'm going to take all these off. I got 3 bins already started for these to do cuttings off of them. It's basically just a little bit of potting soil, a little bit of perlite, and a whole lot of peat moss. It's been pre-moistened and they're all ready to go. So we're going to get these cut off. We're going to strip all the leaves off, cut them down into the proper size, and we're going to stab them in there. And then we're going to start working on this grapevine. All right, so this is nice and trimmed up here. We got access to the grapevine, no problem. And we got tons and tons of branches to do cuttings on. So let's get started on these and then we'll jump back onto the grapevine and get that guy trimmed up. And I'll show you how I'm going to attempt to propagate them. Like I said, I've never propagated grapes before. It's supposedly pretty easy, so we're going to give it a try. All right, guys, there we go. We got 3 bins right there of chaya cuttings. I did not count them, so I don't know how many, but I know there's a lot. So like I said, these guys are in peat moss. It's been pre-moistened. Since I stabbed these guys in, what I want to do is water these in just to get, you see this little gap right there? Right here, around the cutting. I want to water it in so this puffs up a little bit and kind of fills in. That way we don't have to push this down with our finger all the way around on all these. And then we're just going to keep them in the shade on a rack and monitor the moisture level of the peat moss and just keep it moist as needed. All right, guys, so now we're moving on to the grapevine. So Right now it's kind of fallen over. It's just all tangled and messy. So what we want to do is we want to have basically a main trunk coming up, and we want to have a T, and then I'm going to do another extension to that main trunk and another T above it, and it's going to grow straight across this wall here. So we're going to trim it up right now, and then I'm going to get some rebar. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to measure everything. I'm going to weld it together, and we're going to stake this guy and tie him to it. So next year when it grows, it's going to grow more properly. So let's get into trimming this guy. All right, guys, so I temporarily tied this guy up to another bamboo stake just to see the shape of it and know exactly what I'm dealing with. So guys, we're basically going to skin this trunk up to probably about here, and then these two are going to grow sideways, and then we're going to do the same at the top. So we got the main trunk with two side branches on either side coming out, growing in a straight line straight across here. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to build a rebar trellis, pound it into the ground, weld it up, and tie this guy to it. And hopefully next year he's going to wake up, put out a ton of growth and a lot more grapes, because this year we did get grapes, as you can see, but they didn't really develop. They kind of started late, and the heat of the summer really did a number on it. So the next thing we have to deal with is this giant pile of grapevine cuttings. So these guys, like I said, I've never rooted grapes before. I've never tried. I've seen a lot of videos where people just do it in water and it grows no problem. So that's what we're going to try next. All right, and here is the cuttings of the Concord grape. So there's, I don't know how many. I really jam these guys in there. There's probably between 20 and I don't know, maybe 40 cuttings in each one. And again, you want to make sure these little nodes where the branches or the leaves come out are actually underwater. So these guys are really short, so I just cut the branch with the node and left the growth sticking out of the top. So hopefully they take. If not, no big deal. All right, guys, so I apologize about this, but I started cutting up my rebar and realized I didn't have enough to make what I needed to make. I didn't realize how tall the grapevine was. So it's about 5 feet tall. I need to sink about 1 foot to 1.5 foot of rebar into the ground on either side, and then run 2 cross beams going across to wire the branches up to. And then I need to make some feet for it to give it some sort of triangulation so it doesn't actually blow over in the wind. So I got to go out and get some more rebar and cut it up. Unfortunately, I don't have any more time this weekend to work on it. I'm going to have to work on it sometime during the week. And next weekend, I'm hoping to get an update for you guys with what it actually came out looking like, and the way grapes are supposed to be grown. It's kind of like an espeller kind of design. And over the course of the winter, as it goes dormant, I am going to trim more of it off. There's a certain way you trim the vine to get better grape production. So I'm going to work on that over the winter. And when I get to that, I will actually do an update and show you exactly how it's supposed to be done. Like I said, guys, I'm not a grape growing expert. I can grow them. They seem to grow pretty damn good for me. But as far as trimming and training them and all that, I'm kind of new at it. So maybe you guys could watch it and tell me if I'm doing something wrong or doing something right, or whatever you guys think down in the comments. Like I said, as far as the chaya goes, you know, I did a whole video on growing chaya from cuttings, and basically all about chaya, how to cook it, eat it, the whole 9 yards, what not to do with it. I'm going to put a link down in the description for that. So that's pretty much it, guys. Again, I apologize. I will try to put out an update next weekend, exactly what it looks like for you guys to see with the welded up rebar. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, tell all your friends. And until the next video, guys, keep growing.